what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on Pokemon Herbie Lubug. And I'm so sorry for my 9 month long break, but I am back and we're doing more mapping. So at this point, I might sound like a bit angry right now as my computer just crashed, and yeah, it's my second time doing this. So I'm sorry if I might go a little bit faster than I would. So I'm completely sorry for that. Not my fault. My computer just dumb. So yeah. Turkey ultimately declares war on all of the surrounding countries. It's gonna be a bit different than the last one. All these countries are declared war on. This is because Turkey thinks that it has the military might to invade all of them, and which it does. Because in this world, no alliances exist, and also this is what Turkey made an empire. Just stating that. And yeah, Turkey's like buffed in this world, so it's much stronger. It's like 3 times stronger than it is in real life. So let's begin. The weakest countries would be over here, and so boop, there goes that. There goes the main majority, Georgia, and is the country ultimately falls after that. They separate Russia and Azerbaijan. Armenia falls. So there's most of Azerbaijan, but Azerbaijan holds on and fights Baku until a naval invasion is made behind the lines, capturing Baku and ultimately the country surrenders of that. Crete is taken along with Cyprus, and then along with a naval invasion into northern Syria. They swoop down and they just got rid of all those countries. Now, with all their military might, they turned their entire attention to they just do this. Yeah, that's not doing Switzerland. With all these countries now, just Turkey. Turkey's still like twice as powerful as them. And with these countries beginning to all mobilize and war with Turkey, they just take over the majority of the important part of Greece and move on, pushing in, capturing the coast of Bulgaria and Romania, capturing Bucharest, and also then moving on. Then they also capture Sofia, sweep in through the country, then they move on, capture Belgrade, and they want to begin. Then they push up, capturing Budapest, move on, and then they divide that in half. Then they capture Finia. The capital of Austria, and this is just basically a worm, which they just capture the most important cities of each country. But this makes them very overstretched, in which one country they forgot about it was Czech Republic, in which their military just done. Just use this. Worried about that, thinking that they could be cut up right here and stuff for Belgrade, they massively reinforce this and begin to reinforce their entire line. The reinforcing their entire line means that they just do this completely. And after line stabilized, Greece is in a hot pickle right now, as most of the artillery is dead, and also they're facing the strongest, one of the strongest countries in Europe, top 4, number 4, and but Romania is going to be the most challenging, as it's the strongest out of these countries, and it still has most of its military intact. And they just do this. and even began to push through Hungary again, trying to liberate the country, but and even Slovakia. They turned their entire military south for recapturing Bucharest and New Dobrona. This they see that Romania is strong enough to defy them, and so they ultimately decide to leave the country alone. And they're thinking that they cut off Slovenia from Croatia, do that, and then Austria puts up quite a bit of resistance, you know. And also, yeah, they do this again. It's a massive military failure for the Czech Republic, though. As the Czechs are not too strong, and and that happens. Czech Republic is entirely decimated. Austria continues to hold on to the Alps, though, and continues to hold on through here. The remaining Hungarian, Slovakian, Romanian, and even the entire basic population of Moldova continue to just reinforce this line. Yeah, so Austria surrenders now, finally. But Slovakia is the weakest out of the bunch, so they decide to just wrap around the country and just gobble it up from the north. And after this, Romania is they ultimately decide after that even some of their most royal begin to revolt and stuff after the amount of casualties they've been taken. Over 20% of the Turkish population are now dead after fighting all this war. So the population is not happy about this, and so Turkish government is forced to, because they had to spend another 200,000 people just to finish off Romania and Moldova. So they agreed to peace terms with the country. In which they're not very kind to all the occupied countries, but they will have to be kind to Romania. Caucasus and all of territories that the entirety of is annexed. And also, all occupied land is just annexed into the new empire, into the new Ottoman Empire, including all of Austria, as they are still salty about the Balabina. With all of this now in the Ottoman Empire, Romania, a land swap is made between these two countries, as new borders made along the current front line. Romania loses a decent chunk of Transylvania, but they also do gain Dobrona, and with also Moldova joins the country. With Moldova in, Romania is kind of still a power, as they still maintain a decent chunk of the military left. And ultimately, they just and then they are swept, and then they leave the war. After this, the new giant Turkey, now Ottoman Empire, looks they see pretty weak in Middle East, North Africa, and stuff. As with Europe, they really don't see much more point in going into Europe anymore. Have like basically all they want. They might go into alien stuff to capture like Sicily and stuff. But they just really want to store the old. They just want to just make a new empire, Ottomans. And so yeah, they just take chunks of every country. After this, Turkey looks its attention southward. Most importantly to this. But they do wait 10 years because population and stuff, is angry. After 10 years they just declare war on all these countries. Most strongest being Iraq and maybe Israel. With yeah, Israel's definitely the strongest out of all of them, despite being the smallest. But Saudi Arabia is a good yeah. It's just a big old Arabian coalition against these guys. And so yeah, begins the great gang bang of Turkey. So by the way, alright, yeah, they joined the war and instead of the Ottomans, just for the sole reason because they can get all of Kuwait. Yeah, they can restore the Persian Empire and stuff. That's what the government wants. So one big question is what to yeah this chunk right here is in a big threat in which yeah the Iraqi military just sets up a defensive line like here. They have to give up like Mosul and stuff up here because it could just go like that stuff. It's just too surrounded and stuff for the Iraqis to defend. It's Syrians to defend up here, but yeah, they see the massive defensive line the Iraqis have, which is now being supported by countries from all across it. And they weren't expecting a push through here, but that's quickly counteracted by the basically the entirety of decent bit of the Turkish military, and they just they're gonna cut off these two sides, but basically but they still have decent contact with each other thanks to internet and stuff. And they also just like ship and stuff through the Red Sea. Israel is a tough crack, but it ultimately cracks along with Cairo and also basically the entirety of northern Egypt. As the Iraqi defensive line is really the only thing that's holding up now. That's declared the Arab defensive line as it goes from Kuwait all the way to here. Then it combined Persian and Ottoman defensive begins to do here. It's just stunningly well. As the entire UAE is just dead now. Along with Oman and stuff, as this offensive is just she's tied to the war. As Saudi Arabia pulls back its entire military to defend its heartland. The defensive line is the Arab defensive line is now incredibly weakened now, as it's mostly just made up of Kuwait, which are now having to be sent southward because of this advance right here. Then the entire Iraqi military, also is kind of being sent southward to defend this, as if these two things were able to link up, it would spell doom for Iraq now. The remainder of the military Jordan as a country is basically over half of it's occupied. And so Turkey, they just do this. Which this does to somewhat secure the thing, but a breakthrough is made. It's not what the Arabs wanted, and also a massive offensive is made. Iraq continues to hold on to somehow its own defense plan. Style stretches here to here, down to here. But ultimately, they just sit up along the border with Kuwait in it. In which they're not able to break this defensive line, but it's really no point as they just completely cut it off. While it still has a military axis. This is just full of Persian ships and stuff. It's basically just Persian now. As slowly Saudi Arabia folds over and stuff, as their coast is captured and stuff. As they don't have the extreme defensive line as the Iraqis do. Mecca falls and stuff, as the entirety of this captures the Egypt's Red Sea coast falls, but they begin to face large amount of troops from Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and stuff. Morocco, all starting to arrive with the Egyptian military in the front line, as Iraq still manages to hold out on its front line, but it's slowly starving to death. As Algeria and Morocco stuff, they do use their tiny military. Navy. To defend the coast, but when it comes to a battle between the large and very advanced Turkish Navy to the kinda old and way smaller Algerian Navy and Moroccan Navy, kind of it. Also with a small Tunisian Navy, the small Egyptian Navy, and then the just absolutely tiny Libyan Navy. And when it comes all to it, Turkey massively defeats all their navies combined with only 2 ships. That's how technology superior the Ottomans are to these navies. And just a massive breakthrough is made. And it only goes so bad that they completely get cut off. Most of their military is over here. They were not expecting that, and so Tunisia is a lifesaver though. They still have 80% of the army left, and so they use it. And they do this. And just a reverse cut off, and then they just do that. But with the amount of resources, is Snake gonna ghost? I want to take out Tunisia now. Tunisia, realizing it was bad move, they set up a defensive line. Oh, my computer froze. There we go. They set up a pretty bad defensive line here. What was that? They make a defensive line like just right here. It goes from here to up here with naval defenses and stuff. Egypt is seen as a lost cause, as one of their last cities, Alexandria is finally falls along with their remaining coast. They do make a tactical and fighting retreat out of the country, but to get back to like really safe friendly lines, you have to travel across and out Libya, as the country's basically desert now. In which they don't really follow. They do kind of follow them, but yeah, they don't really follow these Egyptians. Persia has been doing a lot, but these two countries have been doing a lot of troops on this front line, defense, Iraqi defensive line, which finally breaks after all this time. But the Iraqis make it somehow enough. Then they use their they use their reserve defensive line to then continue to hold on to the country. But they don't know. Yeah, nobody knows how much longer the Iraqis will hold. They do believe you have another defensive line, here, and then one right here, and yeah. So never middle naval invasion happens here. It's not surprising, as they literally have complete naval superiority, which they just want so many naval invasions on the Tunisian coast. And ultimately always connect with the main front line, as then they couldn't pour through the country. The poor sad little country, and yeah, they just overrun it. But Algiers is a different story. Algiers is holding onto its last legs. The Turks began to rethink everything, as they then signed a peace treaty to Algeria, the leader of this now alliance, which was formerly Saudi Arabia, and then after the fall of Saudi Arabia, it was Egypt. Now it's like now it is Algeria. Algeria, which has really no choice, because Turks are literally like about to break through their the front line on Algiers, except no one really ever forms Iraq about until like a week later. Though, as so they continue fighting. But after the peace treaty, finally supplies are brought to the country, dying country now. And it was also found that Iraq had 5 more defensive lines, which they would all hold on to the center right here. This was the last defensive line. It would just they were ready to fight for everything they had. And so let's draw up the treaty. Turkey would get the most land, as it fought the most. But one thing that they did agree upon was Persia annexing Iraq, but with Iraq still holding on to like a decent chunk of its territory, like a third of it. They're forced to give up only some. They are forced to give up all this, and then Persia just does that. But after drawing up the peace treaty and stuff, Turkey and Persia begin to wonder should they fight each other, as the Ottomans do want to go to here, but Persia wants to go to here. And so that becomes a problem between the two countries, and relationships begin to quickly die out. And so Turkey just they also annex this from the countries. And ultimately they also annex all this along the front line basically into their empire. As basically Algeria is forced to make a pretty bad union between the collapsing Libya, which is now just a desert basically, Algeria and Morocco. And so let's just finish this up real quick. Has Turkey, Ottomans and Persia, their relations are officially ended 2 years after the war began. Due to both of them wanting basically like half the other territory. While there's just like Iraq becomes a pretty small country, no more naval access, as they are really only granted like basically like the territory they held onto plus a little bit more. Baghdad becomes like a border city now, and in case of a war began, it would be just easily invadable. So the government does switch out its city. It does move Baghdad to a new location. Like they just like change, like they literally just demolish the old city and just completely move it to a complete new location. They move it to the center of the country, like there, and they move it to the border right there. And so with the basically the remaining blue team countries, then they are just left to live with their remaining land and stuff. And so the Middle East becomes part of like you're either part of like two countries. You're either in a sphere of influence of the Ottomans, and so now one of the largest countries in the world, really only behind like Russia and China, and maybe the United States are behind or for them. But besides that, they're one of the largest countries in the world. They're in the top 5 too. Then let's just say that like another 20 but another war between these two guys is inevitable, but let's just say like what happens. Let me just show you I'm not gonna. So let's just then do that. that. Weird. Well, let me just redraw the border between these two guys. And so, yeah, this is the Ottoman. This is the Ottoman Empire. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. I am sorry if it's kind of on the long side and kind of boring. I will try to get better at these type of videos. I will no longer do a face cam, by the way, too. So if you want to see my face, you're gonna check out my older videos, which they're kind of cringy, I must say. But yeah, so let's review what the Ottomans did. They took out Egypt. They took out basically the entire of the Balkans. They did an alliance with they had bad relations with Romania after taking parts of Transylvania from them. They have horrible relations with these three countries, as Libya is basically non-existent now. The government is in total anarchy as the country loses 90% of 95% of its population and like basically all of its resources. So and it really has nothing else to trade with. So it's just basically it's basically just completely reliant on the Ottomans, basically just a puppet state at this point. Algeria is still in a kind of decent condition. It lost over 80% of its coast. Only still having this little part right here. They lost Algiers too. I believe Algiers is like here, so it's like kind of like right here. Maybe it's up here. I don't exactly know. It's like right here. So yeah, they probably lost Algiers too. Morocco didn't lose any land. It lost like a decent amount of soldiers and stuff. As paid war operations, that's a loss and stuff. Saudi Arabia is pretty weakened at this point. They lost a decent chunk of land to the Ottomans, and then Persia too. Iraq probably for the worst out of it all, as they lost the most troops out of any country from both sides, as it was holding on to like this chunk right here. Oman fared pretty bad too, and if you just look at even just look at the state of the country, it's like literally the entire country's like right here. This is just it's worse than Libya right now. These countries are basically sphere of influence for the Persians, and then this is like Ottomans and stuff. Ottomans up here too. So I hope you enjoyed. I will try my best to make a video trying to make a video every week, probably Saturdays, because my Sunday schedule is pretty crazy, and then my week schedules is school and like sports and stuff. So pretty busy most of the week, but I'll try. Maybe like I might miss it every like a few days of the week. Because I'm just so busy. So I hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.